Hey, I'm just gonna jump on real quick here after hours. Quite a few hours off after hours, but I just wanted to show a little bit of a supply and demand zone on this that I'm trading right now. I just wanted to do it live while the markets were obviously closed or whatever, but just wanted to show this little setup that's going on. I drew my trend lines. Let me see if I can get this to view a little better here. Let's see here. I think I have too many on. There we go. Okay, so let me break this down to the 1 minute time frame just so you can see what I was doing. Okay, so this is obviously after hours. I drew a quick trend line. Things are trending down, obviously. Could be like a possible double bottom here, but I'm not really too worried about that. I want to zoom in and show you what I'm looking at. Oh, look at that. I needed to break this line. So anyways, I'm trading the NASDAQ minis futures right here. And I think this should be probably a profit take right here. However, if it snaps, that'd be great. And just keeps on pulling all the way down to about right here is going to be my profit target area. So I could draw that in. So yeah, basically I'd like to just talk about this real quick. So right here you have this big candle. It's not the cleanest, but then it kind of pops up and then pulls back down, right? So what this is going to qualify me, there's this doji and then it fails and it gets pulls down. So then I draw from the top of this doji here to the doji on the bottom. And so that's what I got going on. Sorry about that. Had a kid come in. She was crying. I had to help her out there. Okay. So I understand this thing's starting to trend up on the 1 minute. So what I did was, and it looks like it's getting bought up. I mean, it's still kind of keeping trend. So there is a little bit of a risk there. I qualified this area here with this doji candle and then nice big sell on this one here. And then if I can, let me see if I could show trade. See if it'll work. Okay, there we go. So I got in up here, as you can see, with this candle here. It was a doji candle, and I felt like, okay, this is a supply area that I drew up on top. So I'm going to just get in right here early in case it doesn't make it up there. Which eventually kind of traded a little bit and then kind of popped up and touched the supply zone. So now I have this little supply zone right here. It's only on a 1 minute chart. I don't normally do 1 minute charts, but I just kind of wanted to do something that was going to be a quick live stream. And I should probably edit the title because it's not exactly what I'm doing. I'm just going to put the minis here. Explaining of supply zone. Okay. So I got in as I just showed you here. It's been kind of trading around, bouncing around. I drew this line here because just to give it a general basic guideline, and then it came down, it tapped it, came back up, and then just pulled back down pretty hard. Like I said, this is probably an area where I should have took a little bit of profit if I was playing that game, but my idea of what might be happening here is I think it's gonna basically rally, pull down, base, rally, sideways action, whatever, fail, and then hopefully roll back down and retest the lows. That's my thesis. That's what I'd like to see happen. It's a very low risk versus reward. My risk is going to be from, as you can see, right here at the 646 area. That's kind of where I got in. So right at the bottom of this one here, 646, and then it popped up a little bit, and then I'm going to risk until basically a dime, a little over 646 to so $11. So I'm going to 11 point risk for, okay, so 646 right here. Let me just mark it as in my entry. 646.25. That's close enough. That's where I got in at. I'm going to I'll make that my little white line as my entry, just so I can see it, or I'll do it gray. That's fine. Some kind of off-white. All right. Actually, you know, let me actually put that this is my entry. I'll even say it, right? Get you. I could say price level 10. No, I'll put price entry. Okay. So now it's going to tap into that price entry there. I mean, the volume kind of popped on that one a little bit. That was nice. And then now it's kind of just ramping down. But now you see the volume's coming up. So if I'm going to take a look here. So you get some more buying. But then if you get some more selling pressure come in. And that's why I like these little indicators down here for volume. I do have a video on that. Buy, sell pressure. So if you want to check that out, take a look. So this thing's kind of curling. That's not good. But now it's under. It was under that line. My little not respected line I got going on here. Let me pull this down so you guys see this a little better. So I'm thinking this is going to fail. And that's just what I think. Because it's going into that supply zone. That's a nice little pull. I could technically take profit right there and then re-enter and re-up if it comes back up to test. So these are the minis. They don't pay out a lot of money. Not a lot of profit, obviously. So if I had multiple contracts in this would be my first target. This is my first target down here, right here. This would be my first one if I had multiple contracts. There's a little pop up. It's gonna freak everybody or fake everybody out that's trading it if they're not computers or algos. So they probably will be. So it could just grind right back up. I get it. It's gonna happen. Or look at that doji candle, and then that's a 1 minute chart, right? So I'm just watching it. And it could flip and just go right back up. I get it. I know that. But now it's below this line. And this is my uptrending line here. This holding this pattern going up. Well, it goes up, pulls down, up, down, that left, right, straight. Who knows? I want it to come back down and retest the lows. And if not, pull more. Maybe I'll make enough to buy a cup of coffee. Whatever. I'm not doing it for trying to make a big ripping dollar or whatnot. All I'm doing is I'm just doing a live trade to show you that supply and demand zones. I mean, yes, it's on a 1 minute chart, but I figured why not? It's with the minis. It's so it doesn't cost very much to to do business on here, and yeah, that's where I'm at. Plus, so here's the problem with this trade. So I got in here, right, at 14, 640, 625. What's my risk reward? I'm risking $11 to win 22, right? That's supposed to be at least risk 1 to win 2. Okay, so if I make it to here, that's 34. That's like 1.2. Let's call it roughly 1.1. So I'm risking 1 to win 1.1. That's not going to work. So the risk reward on this is a little high because of where it's at right now if I were to take profit right there. So if I were to take profit here at 32, which is another support level, which you're supposed to take it at support, because if you don't, they could bounce and they could buy and they can crack and keep going back up. So if I take at 31, that's still not good enough. Which this is the spot now. 20. I need 26. I need 26 to be able to make my profit right here. So right here, I'm gonna put my buy order right there. See if I can hit it. Come on, fill me out. Do it. Be beautiful to be able to do that live. And then that's my 2-to-1 risk reward. There it is. There's the pop down and right back up. So that's why I put an order in, because now everybody's going to be taking profits and it's going to rip it right back up. Okay, now I'm going to take my stop off because I don't want that to autofill me later. So that was just a little example about how to play so here's support, and that's why I took that trade. Up here, you got a supply zone. I drew it out. It came back down. It came back up to test it. Gave it a couple taps, and that's why I had to get in early, because you got to get in early and then understand your risk versus reward. It kind of traded us around sideways. It's that broke its trend, cracked, came back down to this area down here, which technically this is a demand zone right here. So this right here is a demand zone. So if I were to draw one here, I would take this little bar, and then big bar, and then kind of went sideways and then went up again. So in a sense, if you look at this, you can call this right here to the bottom of that candle there. This is going to be your little demand zone, and this is why I had to get out right at the bottom of that area. And look at that, almost to the T, where I got out at 26 right here. And so it came right back down to that demand zone, and it got bought right back up. Those are algos. Those are algorithms that are doing that. And they're trained, and they know what to look for. So look at that pop, just like that. So that's how you make, that was the minis, nothing big, but that's how you make a quick couple dollars. You have a good risk versus reward. You know what you're doing. And then it bounces and goes right back up in a reversal. Now, if you wanted to play this reversal off of this demand zone, what did I have to look for to give me that idea that something is going to be reversing? You need a decision candle, so you got to play that price action. Okay, so let's zoom in here a little bit. Big fat candle down, right? Boom, wick, rips up, whatever. Wait for that next candle, and then what you do is because you're in the demand zone, you could have got long right here after this candle. Now look at that thing just ripping right back up now, right into that. But see, you could have got long right here, and then risked right down here at the bottom of this demand zone, and look at that risk versus reward. You're killing it. Thing's ripping up now, right all the way back up. Look at that bounce off that demand zone, and then this area here, because it's already been tested once. This is supply that's already been tested once. It's now being tested again. It's weak. This area is now weak. Yes, it's only a 1 minute chart. More valid are going to be 5 minute charts. But look at this. Look how much of a move you just had off of that. This is live right now. This just goes to show on how the algos are programmed, and it's usually how the banks trade as well. But look at that thing. Now it's just ripping. But how did I know to get out? Because of drawing this supply up, the supply up here and the demand down here. This is where the demand was down here. It shows you how to get reversals. You wait for that, you play the price action. Look at this volume. Look at that. Look at the volume down here. This is all buy orders. Nobody's selling. No algos are selling. No computer, whatever, whoever's trading this, nobody's selling that. That's a big move. I would have got stopped out. No problem. Easy. But look at that. That thing's ripping. So they waited for this double bottom to happen. Right, but here comes back up, retests the supply or the demand zone. Boom, comes in. This candle's green, up. You get in right here long. Beautiful. Look at that. That's an insane reversal. Just like that. Some buying strength just came ripping in. Now, is there any other zones? There are. Right here. This area right here. Supply. Again. Right here. Comes down. You can say this area from here to the bottom of that right there. You can do this right here. All right, in that bottom wick. There we go. Right there, I would call that. I would call this. Watch for the doji now. Candle. So that now it's selling off. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna wait for this to close, and I'll see if I can go live one more time on a pullback. But this thing is strong. I mean, this is a big, strong move. And, I mean, for considering it's after hours and it's, now right now I would go short. And then I'd risk to up here. But that's a lot to risk if you look at that. I would need this thing to really pull back. And this could be just a bull flag. Pulls back, sells, whatever. But this is demand zone. Excuse me, supply zone up here. This is supply. So this supply zone, another one, and then this one down here is green. I don't want too much green. I'll do light green. So this is the buy, and this is the sell area. You don't want to be buying in here, but you have a valid risk versus reward. I always like to wait to see if this thing's going to come back up and retest, because this is just a pullback, and this is only a 1 minute chart, because this can just get another big momentum push right into this zone, which you want it to come in, tap. Look at that, to the line though, and the reason why I got that line is because of this part right here, this box. That's about the spot. And then up here, tap box, goes up to the top wick on this one right here. So it went green all the way to the top there, and then it was very small, but then it flushed, and then that was the last time it kind of got its last snap right here. So that's why I measured it from there up to this green one here. Some you measure just a couple of them. So if you technically want to play the game where it really took itself out, it would be just to here. So you could actually, I could shrink this down and go, okay, that's my supply now. Let's go back and look and see what's going on. So this is my supply. I got this big move that came right into it, and now it's rejecting. Came in and rejected. It's coming back up, but that's very small, right? Now it's, if you get short here, right? Let's say you got short here, 65. That's a $13 risk. So it's kind of trading sideways. You want to see, oh, that's a good little candle, but now I want to go on the 5-minute chart, because the 5-minute chart is going to tell us a little bit more. So it came right into our supply zone, tapped it, pulled back. This right here would be the doji, and then what you could do is wait for this to turn red, and then you could just risk to the top of that doji candle. Or, I mean, you don't need to turn red. It probably will turn red. But, so tap, back. No, see, it's kind of trading around. It has 3 minutes left. But this is where, if you want to play on a smaller time frame, which if you look at where I drew the zones, that whatever time frame you draw that supply zone or that demand zone, that's what the time frame that you should be trading on. Because right here, if you look at this, it's like, what did I draw? How did I get that out of all that? You don't see it. You don't see it at all. However, this on a 5-minute would be, if I were to draw this, which I think would be a little more valid, is you would take this and then draw here, and then you would draw, or you would bring this down to the bottom of this candle here, right there. That, to me, that's a good little zone, because you had the green pop, and then pull down, and then this kind of came back up, but it pulled down, and then it kind of went around, flushed, came back down, pulled a higher low, came back up. This wouldn't be a bad trade. I just got to see that this doji, this indecision candle, this is where you want to put in almost like a stop buy right here. Right here. So if you put in that, like right there, and then 62, so if it's like, oh, if it comes down to 62, I want it to stop buy me in. Just like that, okay? So it stop buys you in, right? Then this one, once this 5-minute candle closes, you're going to see the price, you can see it just pull and crack all the way back down. I don't know if that's going to happen. However, my risk right now is only 2. I could even give it to this one right here. I could put a $7 risk. 7-point risk. But who knows? I mean, I don't think this looks very strong. This is a rejection candle, which you're supposed to wait for it to close, or you just, you could play and get in a little early, understanding that this can switch on you, turn green, and continue to go on. However, this little supply zone has not been tested. I feel very comfortable taking this trade. Be a little bit of downtime. Now, next candle, I want to pull down. Will it happen? We'll find out. It might come back up and retest this zone and then eventually fail. All I have to do, though, is just put in my stop. And my stop is going to be right up here, knowing it. Unless I want to do the full zone stop. I mean, I could do that too. That's whatever. Personal preference. But this is technically setting up like a bull flag. But is it? Everybody sees a bull flag, but if you know how to draw your supply and demand zones, you know that you don't really want to take a shot at something like this to go in there and potentially just get completely rejected. Yes, it could go through, but you're going to need some volume like this candle that you had right here. I don't see that volume coming in yet. It could, but it's not coming in right now. What if you got long right here and you got trapped? What happens? Then you sell out because you freak out because this gets broken. This spot here. See that? It popped up and then sold right back down. And this is the 5-minute chart now. 5-minute candles. If I get another rejection on this candle here, that's going to be 2 doji candles being pushed down. Just trying to do a little bit of live future trading just to show you guys that these supply and demand zones are legit and they do work. Now, the problem is we have this right below us, right? This area could have been now support down here. Or it does just come right through and it flushes. You also have to keep in consideration levels. So I'm going to draw a level right here because that is a possible support level, meaning it came up, came down, broke through, came back up, retested, kind of sort of came down, broke right through it, came back, and now if it retests this support level on this little 5-minute chart, then I got to be cognitive of that, because that's usually a profit taking spot if you were to take multiple contracts. This is, I'm not trying to do this to show you like, you know, oh, this is how you make money or whatever. I'm just showing this is the process. This is the process of drawing. Like, I have a whole entire course I could do on just supply and demand zones. And if I get some comments and people actually saying they want to see it, I could show you guys how to trade and not be freaking out about anything. I mean, if you take too much size, you'll be freaking out, but it's all about learning the process, learning a couple different candles on how to read them, learning about doji candles, right? Tombstone candles, dragonflies, all that stuff. I mean, they have all those different types of candles that you could be finding. I was trying to pull up a just an example on what I'm talking about. Let's see here. I'm going to be taking a picture of this real quick, and I'll show you. All right, so things starting to pull a little bit, pulling away. So this is the 4 main types of doji candle patterns. Doji, okay, that's the one where it's like it goes up, it gets sold back down. It gets sold up, it gets bought back up. It's pretty much a neutral transaction after the whole candle closes. You got the dragonfly. The thing opens up right here, then it drops all the way back down, and then all the buyers step in and they buy it back up. So look at these that are getting put in. So this is, to me, these 2 candles here are kind of like, it's a neutral transaction almost, staying right here, right in this area, until it doesn't, until this area right here becomes a little bit resistant, and then eventually comes down. Then you have the gravestone, which that's what I want to see. You know, comes up, touches supply, comes down and just nasty, just stops. Like look at like the gravestone here. The ones I don't like to see is the dragonfly doji, because the dragonfly doji means that buyers are coming in and they're stepping up and they're buying it up. The big candle, that big red candle is what I like to see. Look at this thing just pulling a little bit. Okay, long-legged doji, that's when it has these big swings, like, you know, it sells off and then it gets bought right back up to where it opened, and then it keeps going all the way past and then just gets sold off again, and then eventually when the candle closes, all said and done, didn't really go anywhere or do much. But so this is forming a dragonfly, and I don't like that, right? That's going to be more of a bullish. So see, what's happening here is this is kind of turning into a this is kind of turning into a bull flag, right? So I got in here, and I should, if I put in my stop up here, it should be, well, I could do it all the way up here, but it's looking like their buyers are coming in. So I'm going to put it right, let's see here, what's this one? This is going to be the high of 72.50, okay. So 72.50, I could put a stop in right there. Put it just above it, just in case. So it looks like it's going to hit, unfortunately. But that's, you know, that might hit and then come right back down. But see, that's me playing not the full zone. I could have played all the way up to the top, right? But again, this thing's got some volume, some buy volume coming in. And now I lost, you know, what I made on the trade. But like I said before, this kind of looked like it's a bull flag coming in. But I almost want to take a chance and see if this rejects. And I will risk a little bit more here. It's kind of running out of steam. I'm gonna get short one more time, and then I will risk to the top of up here. 80, it looks like. Yeah, 80. Just above that by a few, because you never know if it just touched it to the penny, and then you're like, oh, what happened? If this does a rejection, though, this candle rejects, then great. But like I said, I'm not like trying to make all this money. It'd be nice to have a couple bucks here and there, but I'm just trying to go through the process of how you would trade this. Now, is it great to see these large candles coming in with volume? No. You'd want to see this stuff roll over. And we are kind of at the bottom. I mean, look at this. This thing is pretty much towards the bottom. And then if you want to really look at all this, you could say, hey, here's some more supply zones and stuff. So I was playing one here. It came down, come back up, test, retest, should roll over. That's what I want to do. But it looks like it's going to stop me out. So, I don't know. We'll find out. Yep, stop me out. But, you know what? That's, at least you knew what you were doing to trade. And if I wasn't live, would I really be pushing this? Probably not. I'd probably be done with it. But look at that. It just came out. Oh, now this is coming down. This could be the candle that flattens it. I might take another little chance here. Yeah. I'm going to short this real quick one more time. Just in case this was just a fluke, because it came up into our supply zone and now could be rolling right back over. And I wouldn't want that to be happening. I might even do a couple contracts. I should wait, technically, I should wait for this to close. But again, what do we have there? Got ourselves a doji. Putting in a doji. So that means people, or whoever, computers, algos, whatever was trading, was waiting for this to come up. And if you wait for that to come up and get in, then, you know, and you wait for it to confirm close, If not, then hey, maybe it'll break through the supply zone and keep going. But look at this. This is your doji candle if it closes, but it's already looking like a doji, but it can go up. Who knows? Still watching it. It tested. It went up. So the decision candle to get short here again would be to wait for this to close. Okay, and you want it to close like a doji, like a usually red. You want to see this go red, and then you know what? I might even sell a couple more contracts. It might bite me, but you know what? I'll have a small risk reward versus reward if it rolls over. Because I'll risk to 82, maybe 83. What do we got left here? 3 minutes left in this candle, but I've already got a piece on, right? If this rejects this little area, this would be amazing, and just have it roll right over. It'd be great. A few minutes left in this candle, though. What's not fun is when it rejects and it really pulls down and you kind of wish you had a piece in on the game, right? Because if you don't have a horse in the race, you ain't gonna win. Okay, so look what's setting up here. Got a little doji coming in there. Coming down. I want to see the one that has a tail. Comes down, closes down here, and then another big push down or pull down. You pull down and you push up. So hey, if a stock is pushing, it's going higher. If it's pulling, it's coming down. It's getting pulled back down to 0. Which it's not a stock. This is a security, obviously. It's part of the NASDAQ. This is the micro E-mini NASDAQ 100. All right, so let's see what happens here. Come on, we got a couple more minutes left. Just drinking a little iced coffee, chilling. So, see why you would stay and wait for your decision. Because right now there's a lot of buyers and sellers, and there's no decision made. They don't know. But right now it's getting a little bullish. People are saying, I want to buy the dip on this big pullback today. It broke, 15,000, which is a big deal. So I better just put my stop in because that's the plan, right? 82. I'll put 82.50 as a stop. But I also want to have this in because if this opens a new candle and it's bearish, I know what I'm going to risk. To me, I think that this is going to be a bunch of indecision and then it's just going to push higher. I'm going to see it stopped out. Yeah, see. There it is. There's the higher. I already got stopped out. Oh, there it is. That's all right. So see, this is a bullish, candle coming out of the supply zone. So now it's starting to break above supply, and now buyers are saying, "Oh, well, it's getting above the supply zone. Maybe in this area, in this little 1 minute supply zone area." Now, the next level it's going up to, it's going to rip, right? Now they're going to come in and buy. I mean, sometimes it wicks through it and then rolls back over. But this is trending up pretty good. It's still kind of keeping trend here. If I look at this, and keep pulling these. I had it to here. It's still trending up. And it broke out of this trend that was coming down. It's now going up. Here's a support. That's some kind of daily line I have on there. Okay, next supply zone area. It pulled back, rallied. So you could say pull back, then rallies up, then pulls back down. You could almost say this area right here. But see, it's already been tested once, came back, test, pulls down. You want it fresh. So a fresh zone, in my opinion, is going to be here. So comes down, then it breaks. Nothing has tested this yet. It almost tested here, but that was kind of like whatever, and then it just rolls over, comes down. You want it to come back up and retest this area. So this doji candle, and then it just snaps. Draw one in here, down to the bottom of that doji, top of the doji, bottom of the doji, big red candles come in. It's about right there. Boom. I can draw that as a supply zone. It's got a little bit of numbers to it, to be honest. Got a little range in there. Little range. Edit. Color it. I make it pink so you can kind of still see the whatever in between. This came up. This broke out of the zone. No big deal. It's okay. Just doing this for demonstrations. Nothing crazy. All right. Hey, if this stuff's kind of helping, please like the video. That helps me in my channel. But we are definitely on a little uptrend here. It broke, tested, popped, bounced, kept on going. Ooh, what's this? If this puts in a reversal candle, I might have to consider that again. Not gonna lie. Just because if this does roll over, that would be very, very interesting to watch. Especially if I throw a couple contracts on, like 3 contracts. But look at this buying volume. Buy pressure, buy pressure. There's not much selling. And you're not going to have that, you know, late, after hours, etc. This is my area where I stopped out. Got 1 minute. It's coming back into supply. Remember what those little dojis look like? Candles. What's that look like? A doji, huh? Setting up. This might be right in that daily supply line I had. Oh, sorry about that. I'll have to bring it back up. What did I do with it? Nope, that wasn't it. There we go. Okay, there it is. I'm selling it short. I'm shorting it 3 contracts. I'm going to see if this thing can pull. Right here. This is where I want to see it fail hard. And just pull all the way down. It's getting bought up. But this is where they can really flush because it just came back into supply. And now it's, people are like, uh-oh, that were long. Are kind of like, this isn't good. Or they're now seeing it as support, whichever it could be. So we'll see what happens. Where did I get in? 76? That's a terrible entry. I just hit the bid. It's coming into support, which is down here a little bit at the bottom here. So I have to be fast. And I won't let it go against me. Look at that. Join the bid. Take a little bit right there. There goes one contract. Keep going. Come on, see if it'll pull. See if it'll pull. Come on. Get out of that supply zone. Reject the supply zone. That's what I want. I want to see us reject the supply zone. Next target's going to be down here. And this is more so like that I'm just kind of getting out because of... it's not like the risk reward. I'm not holding it, you know, because this thing's it's uptrending, you know. It's hit this line. And now it's going to bounce, all that stuff. So I could also just put in my stop break even, which it wouldn't be, it would be fees, you know, etc. So I'll just stop right there just before. I can't do it. I gotta be true to myself. It's like 79. Top of the zone, 80. I'll do 80. I'll risk 80. Because it can pop right back up and then just drop. Okay. Now, let's see what happens. It looks like it just grabbed some support down there, unfortunately. It's getting real close to my entry here. I gotta take a look at another chart to see what the 5 minute is doing. I'm sorry, the 1 minute. The 1 minute's where it's granular a little bit, you know, where you can kind of see what's happening within those candles. We got a doji candle on the 1 minute going to the downside. Oh, now it turned green. It's kind of just dancing around. Okay, we got another 1 minute that just opened up. It's going red. Doji candle to the downside, but it looks like it's kind of keeping support right there at the 71 area. So this doji candle is getting bought up. So it's kind of showing support now. Flush getting rejected. We're hoping for a rejection. Looks like the 1 minute's kind of pushing. Pushing up, right? That's what we said. Push up, pull down. It's pushing up. So it went all the way up here and then now pulled down into the supply zone. My stop is right there at the 80s. Doji candle to the upside, unfortunately. I would just like to see this supply stuff, this upward move, which, let me take off the my trades. Okay, it came up in, we had a little doji here, whatever came up, this closed, doji bearish candle, this is your short right here, you risk to up here. I got in at 76, which is a little low because I slammed the bid, got in here, now it's pulling down. I want to see this candle. This is just gonna, I'm just gonna let it play out, right? And then where I don't want this to go back up. That would be like, that would be weird. I mean, the price action's showing bearish right now. However, seller or the buyers could step in. I mean, they could. I just think that it's going to pull more. That's just me. What do I know? I only trade price action. So, meaning looking at the candles. What happened? Price action is what that candle did. What does that candle represent? What does that candle mean? Right here, I mean, this supply zone could all become demand. I don't know why it would, but it could because it's going back up, right? And then so they say, oh, we'll get long here and then we'll just triple top or something. I don't know. I hope it fails and then it can just pull right back down. But then I'd have to watch out for this little area here for more supply, for a little demand zone is what this kind of is. I believe it is on a 1 minute. But again, it's still setting up that little bull flag. And this could push a lot of people in to want to buy this. and then have it rip and stop me out. Which I'm cool with it because it's part of the plan. It's okay. Let's see here. I don't really have anything. I don't have my YouTube stuff up, live streaming. No. Cool. I got a bunch of spam and stuff going on inside the comments. Yay. Remove. Okay, so it hit my stop, and it popped me out. That's all right. But that big rejection here is questionable, right? You can get a big push now. Now you gotta watch the volume, see what that's doing. I mean, technically what I should have done was I should have risked to the top of this doji. Right? Because then, if this thing does get beat down, crack, and then come down further, then I had a very small risk for a very good size reward. Again, this is the 5-minute chart. I like this bearish look. I'd have to wait for this thing to close, but it's looking, I mean, now it's looking a little more bullish. It's like engulfing this last candle. If it closes, which see, now it's closing, or it's pushing, because people are stopping out right here. They're stopping out, popping a few orders. Buyers coming in, their shorts are buying now that were short, like I did. And I understand this is kind of like dancing around here, but I don't. This could also be a false breakout because it's in this little supply zone. Two minutes left on the candle. A little less than 2 minutes. Again, this thing's gotten bought up and then getting sold off and pulled back down, and then just this tug of war going on right now. The 1 minute's showing bearish a little bit. I don't think this looks bullish at all. I think it looks kind of bearish. I feel like it'd be nice to see this thing pop and then drop. But we got, oh, here comes a new candle. What's gonna happen? I'm selling it. I'm gonna sell it. I'm gonna see what happens here. It could go right back up, and I get it. That's fine. But I would only risk until right here, 88. So then I'm gonna put 88.13, 89. I can do 88.50. So I will risk the 88.50 mark. It's looking, I mean, it's uptrending. This is totally going counter trend. I'm keeping it up here, just above where this doji kind of rejected. But again, it kind of tested it, and I want it to just kind of peter out here as far as momentum goes, and then just flush. But it's just not, there's not a lot of volume. You know, you're playing in a low volume setting. So you have algos, you got computers, and you have all this other junk that's kind of going around with it. at the same time, you can go long and you can play, just down here to 68, and then be like, oh, I want it to break up above up here. I just think that it's just really hard for me to want to buy in a mini little supply zone that I have drawn out. But see, here's the other problem. The longer you stay in a supply zone, this is one thing I did not mention, the more bullish it is. So I need to start taking some contracts off, because I'll probably take 2 off right there. Oops. Okay. So the more that this stays in this supply zone, the stronger it gets. So the more likely it can break through the supply zone, like it already has, right? So I'm gonna go to here, 71. I'm at 76. My risk averse reward is terrible to do this, but it is what it is. Because this kind of just keeps on becoming support, until it doesn't, and then I'm like, oh, I wish I kept it. All right, I know where I'm going with that. This is already starting to look a little good here. I'm going to throw my bid in real quick here because it's going to flush. Bid. See if I get filled. Come on, hit me, hit me, hit me. Didn't hit me. That means it's going to go further down. I'm not touching it. It's gonna flush. It's gonna flush more, I think. This is like a support zone now. Everybody's gonna hit in their stops like that. 2 contracts covered. 2. I only got hit on 1. They only covered me on 1. I'll keep it for the rest then. Let's go. As this thing snaps, it's gone. It can come all the way back down to this little support level here, which is in the 62s. This is a supply zone. This is why you don't mess around with supply zones. Okay, now I could just let the trade play out, which there it goes. It's pulling really well now. Really well. Come on, keep pulling, baby. Let's go. Keep pulling down. This can get bought up a little bit. I'm gonna look at the 1 minute chart because there's a 1 minute candle. Okay, it's kind of pushing back up a little. I could always take something off. Nope, it's just looking like some kind of little quick cover, and that's it. 68, so I'm going to do a stop at 69.75. If it hits that, I want to cover one of my contracts, just take a little profit off the table, because it looks like it's trying to work back up there. That's okay. Now I just keep on this contract for the remainder of the pool. 76. So I think there's gonna be another pullback down, and let my winner ride. So you leave one contract on. I mean, the risk versus reward on this trade is not the greatest. I'm not going for a home run. I'm just going for basically a scalp on this. We got a couple of dojis on the 1 minute, and then, or no, it's kind of gone up a little bit. So it's getting a little bit, it's perking up, and then I'm just gonna stop out break even at 76.50. So I'll do 76.25 for slippage. In case there's any, or 76.25. Put a stop in right there. This way, for at least pays my fees or whatever for what happened with all the transactions, etc. Because I'm not like up a bunch of money. Okay, look at that. Here we go. We're rolling back over. Big old rejection on that 1 minute candle. Big engulfing. Bearish candle in the 1 minute right down to the 65s. If that can snap, that's going to go even further. 65 breaks. It's getting bought up a little bit. If 64.50 can snap, we can get a nice little pull down. Nice little rejection. It took a while and it kind of faked you out up here at this supply zone, but you know what? It still is sort of working out. It should pull harder. It's not really flushing like I want it to. But I'm going to hold on one contract, break even on the rest, worst case. It's getting bought up a little bit down here. It's starting to base, it's holding. So you just got to be careful with that. Because now it's going to probably just start pushing right back up. It would be good to maybe even go long on this. I'll just do a little reverse psychology. I'm kidding. I would not go long right here. You got on the 1 minute chart. You got a high, a lower high, lower high. So that's kind of lower highs and lower lows. Here I'll pull up a 1 minute chart. Show you what I'm talking about. So yes, overall, these are all higher highs, higher lows, and all that stuff. But if you come back and you just pull it to here, this is that area of that's kind of like was support, and now is maybe resistance. Hopefully this isn't support anymore. Hopefully it can come down and then pop and then drop. All right, so pops and drops. And this little support level right here gets taken out. But you need a lot of volume for that. You need some shares and movement and all that, contracts getting sold and bought, etc. So someone might think, oh, let's go long right here, and they jump in, and then this thing goes up, and then the sellers go, nope, and they start selling it down. And then it like that. And then it flushes just like that. And people get that's a trap. See this whole thing? Lower high, lower high, lower high, bull trap. Oh, it's gonna go up. Snap, get crushed right back down. So now I'm coming into support right here in this level, like I was just saying, and this is where I should take a profit. Like honestly, that's where you want to take profit, because if this does come back and then resupport and then go, that's I think it's gonna come back down. I'm going to retest the 60 area. I'm going to put a little buy order in right here because I have to cover my contract. I'll just do join the bid here in a minute. Getting a doji candle. I don't like that. Could reverse. That's a reversal candle. If that closes. Right? But that's a 1 minute. So I want this thing to flush right now. Just flush. Come on, keep pulling. Let's go. Pull it. I'm going to go down to 60. I guess I'll do 60.25. I think it's getting to 60.25. Here we go. On the bid. On the bid right there. Look at it. I'm out. And there's that flush. Quick. And then watch out now. Now we're at a little support here. So now it's going to get bought back up. And a possible reversal trend that might happen. You got to look at the price action. You got to watch that candle and make sure that it closes green, and then the next one above that you'll go long, and then they'll jump in and they'll go long. All right, there it goes. That was real fun being live. I'm gonna call it a day. I got to go and get some dinner, and see my kids and my wife, and hang out. But I did want to kind of just do a little live demonstration. Alright guys, please subscribe, hit the bell notification, hit the likes. Please comment on what you'd like to see as far as content goes. Let me know in the description, or in the comments below. I'll put what I need to put in the description. I do use a scanner by Primus. Look at that, it's still going. I highly recommend them. Check them out. Description. All those links and stuff down there. Take a look. But look at this thing just selling off. Look at that. See? Right out of supply. Supplied area don't lie. All the way across. And then crack. Huh? Okay, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Y'all take care now.